Good morning, great Americans. It's another great American video from the bunker in Kentucky. Um, uh, it's very nice for a change to see a good story in the news. And man, I think it's years too late coming, but finally, something in this area. So if you watch any of my videos or see my website, you know that one of my my biggest pet peeves, if not the biggest issue that bothers me, and I cannot figure out why it doesn't have the entire nation just angry and seething in anger. But it's the Democrats and the left's war on children. Robbie Starbuck made a documentary called "The War on Children." Several people have, even like especially Megyn Kelly, have talked about the war on children, and by that I mean grooming in schools and the sexualization of children in schools. It is insane. It is disgusting. It's perverted. It's immoral. It's unethical, and it happens every day in the hundreds of schools across America, and nobody's doing anything about it. That's one of the reasons that Moms for Liberty got created, right? And so God bless them. So some people are trying to do something about it, but this lock that the left has on school through the unions and the school boards and so almost makes it impossible to do anything about it. There's like these great pastors. This is a black pastor who goes to these school board meetings and literally gets thrown out of the meeting simply for showing the pornography that the schools are putting in elementary schools, right? So apparently you can have the porn in the elementary school, but if you bring it to the school board meeting to show them what's going on, then you get thrown out. So that's what happens to a lot of people who go to. So it's very the left, the Democrats and the left are very fascist and Nazi when it comes to having sexually grooming children in schools and having pornography in elementary schools. And one has to ask oneself why. So before I continue, I'm going to put a link to the article I'm about to talk about in the description of this video. And I'm going to put a few links to some of my previous videos because I've talked about this a lot, about how Democrats basically support pedophilia. And because when you are engaging small children sexually, not physically, perhaps not physically, but in the mind, that's pedophilia as far as I'm concerned. And I have I have several videos of that, so I ask you to watch them. I have an article about that. I ask you to read it. I ask you to see Robbie Starbuck's documentary called "The War on Children," and I'll put a link to that. I'm gonna have a bunch of links in the description of this video. So please check, please click on them and look because it is so important, and so many people are not even aware of what is happening in schools and why. The bigger reason is why. Why are they doing this? That's the real big reason. So anyway, the good news. So I just saw an article this morning. Uh, it says, oh, by the way, this also touches on something else that I've been talking about too, and I'll tell you what it is. Anyway, the article says 26 states, lawmakers and faith groups support parents at the Supreme Court who are fighting grade school LGBTQ. I hate even using it. Oh, what is this? Is this something new? LGBTQIAAP2S lessons. What the fuck is that? Anyway, it's homosexual and transgender filth being taught in grade schools, just like I just said. Now, if you don't think it's happening, then how can they be fighting it at the Supreme Court? Of course it's happening. It's gone all the way up to the Supreme Court. For those of you who are in denial. But anyway, the article says Christian, Jewish, and Muslim parents are asking, um, I'm sorry, my apologies, my computer's goofing up on me here. Christian, Jewish, and Muslim parents are asking the Supreme Court to allow them to opt out to excuse me, to opt their young children out of LGBTQ indoctrination at schools in Montgomery County, Maryland. So, what do we get from this right from the get go? They want to opt out. That means the kids are already in it. Do you understand what I'm saying? That means that homosexual and the sexualization is happening to young children at schools in Montgomery County, Maryland. And that's just, I'm telling you, it's happening in schools across the country. But this is just the one that happened to make it to the Supreme Court. They're not even trying to stop it. They're just trying to get their kids out of it. Christian, Jewish, and Muslim. So don't start crying about Christians and blah blah blah. Christian, Jewish, and Muslim parents are asking the Supreme Court to allow them to opt their children out of LGBTQ indoctrination at schools in Montgomery County, Maryland. Let me continue. In 2022, the Montgomery County Board of Education announced new. I love the way they come up with these words, man. Inclusivity books for K through 5 students. These are little kids. What the fuck does a kid? Okay, wait a minute. Let me continue. K through 5. The Montgomery County Board of Education announced new inclusivity books for K through 5 students and took away parental notice and opt-outs for storybooks that discuss topics like gender transition, pride parades. They took away parental notice. I mean, please, people, I beg you, don't ever vote for a Democrat again. When I was a little kid, granted, that was a long time ago, but they first started sex ed in elementary school. But this had nothing to do with lifestyles. It had to do with the biology of how a baby is made, right? The egg and the sperm and the blah blah blah. And, this biology. And even then, you had to get a note from your parents allowing you in. These fucking degenerates in the Montgomery County Board of Education in Maryland, they are putting little kids into this, and they took away parental notice. So they stopped informing the parents, and they took away the parents' right to opt the kid out. In other words, they're telling the parents, you will put your kid into this stuff, and you can't do anything about it. People, I beg you. I beg you. Anyway, so continuing on. That's what they did. And then in 2023, a federal court upheld, oh my God, can you believe this? In 2023, a federal court upheld a lower court decision siding with the school board. The courts are siding. The courts are corrupt. I want you to think about this for a minute. You have a little kid in school. You find out, now you're the parent, you find out that this sick school is not only teaching your kid about, a little kid, elementary school kid, you find out that this school is teaching your kid about stuff that you don't want to teach them about yet, and also that's teaching them the opposite of what you want to teach your kid, and then you find out that you can't do anything about it, and then you find out that the court and a federal court is against you and siding with the school. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the fascism and the evil of the Democrat Party. But anyway, to continue. Okay, so anyway, in 2023, like I said, the federal court sided with the lower court and sided with the Maryland school. So the parents appealed to the Supreme Court. Of course, the Supreme Court agreed. Thank God. The Supreme Court agreed to take up the case in January and will hear oral arguments in April. That's next month. This week, the Solicitor General of the United States, thank God Trump won. That's all I can say. Thank God Trump won. This week, the Solicitor General of the United States and 26 states, 66 members of Congress, 35 members of the Maryland legislature, and various groups and scholars, that's a lot of people, submitted briefs to the High Court backing the parents and arguing that parents have the right to direct the upbringing of their children in accordance with their beliefs. On and on and on. So I'll put the link to this story in the video. The title of the story is 26 States Lawmakers, Faith Groups Support Parents at Supreme Court who are fighting grade school LGBTQIAPP2S plus lessons. So, thank God, one piece of good. I tell you what, if the Supreme Court screws this one up, I'm going to give up. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable on so many levels that a school would shove this into the brains of little tiny kids and then collectively decide to not tell the parents and then collectively decide that the parents have no right to pull their kids out of that stuff. Man, let me tell you something, man. If that happened to me, my dad would have been down at that school kicking fucking ass. He would have lost his mind. He might have gone to jail. He would have beat the shit out of anybody who was sexualizing me with this filthy, disgusting, degenerate shit. And that's what it is. It's evil. It's evil. And so, anyway, but to continue, the idea that the school would do all that, and then the parents go to court and the court sides with the school, then it goes up to federal court and the federal court sides with the fucking school. This is evil, and this, you know how the left loves to talk about systemic racism, which is a bunch of bullshit. This is systemic evil and corruption up and down, from the lowest teacher, schools, principals, and the unions that support them, up to the school boards, and then the local courts, up to the federal level and federal courts, and everything in between, all promoted by Democrats and the left. This is systemic evil. We have to fight against it. Now, this brings me to another point of a video I made a while back. It was actually a very short video. It's like a little reel, one of those 1-minute videos, but still, I have a little meme. I post a little meme about it once in a while. But, and that is this. At the very beginning of this article are 3 words, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words. Not the title of the article, but the first sentence in the article. Christian, Jewish, and Muslim parents. I tell you that one of the biggest mistakes that conservatives and Republicans have made over the years in response to, well, it was a result of 9/11 and terrorist attacks and stuff. And I get it, right? Because, you know, that's bad stuff. But one of the biggest mistakes conservatives have made is alienating the Muslim community because they need to be in on stuff like this. Listen, the left loves the left loves to characterize this issue as Christians are trying to start what do they call it? A theocracy and tell us all what to believe. That's got nothing to do with it. It has to do with the rights of parents. Parents have the right to bring their kids up in their belief system and their moral system, and schools have no business in that. And furthermore, the parents who don't like what's going on are not just Christian. They're Christian, Muslims, and Jews, just like it says. That's who's fighting this. That's what it says in the article. And listen, the Muslim community is big, and the Muslim community can they know how to start some shit when they want to, right? They need to be in on this. Conservatives who are worried about wokeism and this kind of stuff in schools, wokeism in the workplace, wokeism in general, the destruction of the family because of all these agendas. They should have been bringing Muslims in to the fold to add to the fight, right? Because Muslims would be saying, hell yeah. You think a Muslim dad wants their little girl, his little girls or boy, subjected to this shit? So I think this is a big mistake that was made in the past. And I say that Christians and Muslims need to be united on this issue of the grooming in schools, wokeism, transgenderism, this genital mutilation surgery that's happening to kids, and all the destruction of the family and all kinds of stuff. Christians need to be uniting with Muslims on this subject. Why? Because it's a wasted resource. All right. We can fight the war on terror, but man, look at these. Look at it. So that's another thing I like about this subject. So if this goes well at the Supreme Court, and it needs to go well at the Supreme Court, it is my hope that this long overdue and this long ignored topic will now come to the forefront, and people will start doing something about it. And maybe, just maybe, conservative Christians will pull their heads out of their asses in regards to locking arms with Muslims on this topic. It needs to be done. Look, you don't have to believe in Islam or accept Islam. When you have a partner in fighting an evil, and the sexualization of children is certainly an evil. When you have a huge potential partner like that, the Muslim community, you need to bring them in, man. Man, I'm telling you, this has been a missed opportunity. I see all these posts on X and Facebook, and the Muslims are evil, the Muslims are terrorists. Look, it's not a religious discussion. We're not, if you want to get down and have religion debates, and you want to debate Christianity against Islam, and that's a whole other thing. But the point is, when it comes to these issues, we share the same morals. We share the same morals regarding gay marriage and transgenderism and all that kind of stuff. So and we should be united in fighting the forces that are promoted those evils. So that was one of the nice things about this article. Not only is it finally coming to the forefront, but it's those groups who have all come together. I hope that continues, right? So anyway, that's the message for today. And I'm telling you, man, if you're not aware that this is happening in schools, then please click on the links uh, in my in the description of this video, and please share this video, by the way. And I don't know if I'll make a video for St. Patrick's Day, but if I don't, then happy St. Patrick's Day, St. Patrick. And I'm talking about a real St. Patrick's Day, about St. Patrick, okay? Not about leprechauns and green beer and all this stupid shit. You know, it's St. Patrick's Day is about St. Patrick. Take a moment to learn about St. Patrick, right? He had quite a life, quite a life. He was sold into slavery. He was a slave for many years, and then he escaped, went to England, learned about Christianity, and he became a bishop in the church, and then went back to Ireland and brought Christianity to Ireland. And that all happened a long time ago, like in the fourth century, fourth and fifth, the year like in the 300s and the 400s, like around there. That's a long time ago. So anyway, uh, thanks again. Subscribe to our Substack page, and I will see you in the next great American video. Adios, muchachos.